probably gonna be my last video for Street Fighter or fighting games. I'm gonna most likely sell my PlayStation. I was very disappointed with Street Fighter 6 release. I didn't like the characters. I didn't like the stages. I didn't like how they basically still have the same mistakes, for the last 30 years, and they just don't do anything about it. You know what I mean? As a company, I feel like that's like very unprofessional for a game developer to continue to make the same mistakes over and over and over again. And also, it's very ungrateful for them to try to basically coerce and bribe all the fans to like really hype up. Oh my God, there's this tournament and everyone could win $1 million for first place. But little do they know, they don't tell you that you have to go to like 10 different national tournaments that like every fucking amazing player is going to, and you have to place like literally top 3 in like at least, if you get first place, you're like guaranteed to go to this tournament that gives you an opportunity to win $1 million. And guess what? Like the best Japanese players are also there, and everybody knows that like they literally play 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Like if you watch their stream, they'll share one account just so they can move up in the rankings. Like it'll be 3 of the like best top Japanese players. But nowadays they're like way more beatable. Nowadays they're way more beatable. In the past, I thought they were way harder to beat because they were really the only players that knew how to play on a joystick. They were really the only players that knew how to play on a joystick. So they had a huge advantage because when you play on a joystick back, especially in the earlier games, it gave you a way higher opportunity to land combos that were very important to being like the best. And now you really don't have to do that. You could do it on a controller now. So, and I'm not going to deny, I do feel like the game feels better than ever before. I still think the jab is a little bit too fast, but I think it kind of has to be for the sake of combos. But unless they do something like similar to like Guilty Gear Stride, where there's only one jab and you have to literally confirm off of that one jab, which would be possible if they added the like something similar to like Street Fighter 5, where the only difference is it wouldn't just be hard punch or crouching hard punch, standing hard kick that would crush counter them. It would be every attack, standing jab, crouching jab, standing light kick, everything would crush counter them, and then you could put them into a counter a combo. There would be combo potential off of that, but highly doubt they're going to do anything like that. I think a throw should put them in a stun state, automatic stun. That would, because a lot of top players are saying like for example Justin Wong, he's just giving advice to players like just take the throw, like don't risk trying to break the throw, just take the throw because it does way less damage than taking a combo. I disagree with that because I don't like those kind of teachings. Because I think a player should have to break a throw when a throw is available to break. You know what I'm saying? And if he doesn't break that throw, he should be stunned. That way he gets the full combo that he deserves for not being a good enough player to break the throw. You know what I'm saying? I personally would make it like that because like I think that's horrible advice to give to players. Like, oh look, I don't have to worry about getting combo because I'm just gonna take the throw. Like I think that's horrible advice. Either that or make the throws do way more damage, like triple the damage. Then players are going to go, okay, I got to learn how to break a fucking throw now. But yeah, I didn't like the characters. I didn't like the character colors, the outfit colors. I didn't like the stages. The stages were like quite possibly the most disappointing part of the game for me. I did not see one decent stage. The character selection was very bad. Very bad. I think there was a lot of iconic characters that did not make it into the game. I think at this point they have basically all the characters they need. They just have to put them in the game. You know what I'm saying? At this point they have all the characters they need. Like they're just not, they're also changing iconic characters. Like Cody, the way his tornado punch was in Street Fighter Alpha and Street Fighter 4 was perfect. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it should be. The way they did it in Street Fighter V, that was pretty whack, I thought. So stop doing that. Like, that was my word of advice. I'm gonna play a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I did forget to mention on that. I know it's people like, why would you teach spirituality on Street Fighter channel that no one watches? I'm like, because it's like the only way that I could really express the things I want other people to be able to spread the word and tell their friends and tell their family and everything, you know? Because there's a lot of people that keep it to themselves. You know, there's some people out there that are pretty blatant with it and pretty obvious with it, and I do respect that because that's the way humans should be with each other. You know what I'm saying? But there's people that try to keep it to themselves and never tell you about it or anything like that. I think that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a very important part of our natural existence, probably the most important part, considering everybody says no. You know, when somebody does something wrong, like if they rob the bank or something, they're like, everyone's going to go, no, I didn't do it. Even the guy that did it, no, I didn't do it. He has a bag of money in his back pocket and shit. No, I didn't do it. Everybody says no. So unfortunately, but like when it comes to spirituality, before I start playing, this could probably be the last time I play. I'm very disappointed with the game. I can't deny that. Like for example, Kimberly's run, you know, that ends in a, you know, there's ways to counter it, I know, but like it should be easier to stop. Like if she just her quarter circle forward, you know, I keep telling them the same shit over and over again. I'm tired of it already. As a fan, I'm disappointed. As a long time, let me not even say as a fan that's trying to win the $1 million. I'm saying as a long-time fan that has been playing ever since he was a little kid and fell in love with the game and became obsessed with the game at a young age. So like at a very young age, I was already beating kids that were double my age because I was so obsessed with it. I wanted to be the best. Even when I was a little kid, I was like, I wanted to be the best. Like I wanted nobody to beat me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like as a longtime fan, I'm very disappointed. You know what I'm saying? I still think Street Fighter 3 Third Strike is the best Street Fighter of all time, no doubt about it. Does the game still have some issues with it? Like, do I think the recovery time could be a little bit longer so that it's easier to counter and combo? Yeah, especially with that universal overhead. But they never listened to me, so you know, I would be able to special cancel that standing light kick into uppercut like you can now in Street Fighter V. You know, stuff like that. I would make that a possibility. Oh yeah, when it comes to spirituality, like you're always gonna want to say like one syllable words because it's like once you like when you hear somebody, you know what I mean, and you say something back, they're not gonna be able to hear your entire statement. So if you're like, yeah, I'm a good person, all I did was take a candy bar, they're not going to hear all that. So you could just be like, good. You know what I mean? But I wouldn't even recommend saying good because there's fake people out there that pretend that they go, oh, she said good. So I did. You know what I mean? Like, no. Like, so. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to say the same stagnant word. Because like there's fake people out there that like try to make you think that stuff is happening when it's really not happening. Like they'll try to make you believe that drama is really happening when it's really not happening. Like there's even fake people like that. So you gotta be careful. You gotta be real. Like, what's the word? You gotta like really dig deep for the truth. You know, unfortunately, you know, if you don't hear it, like this is a good way to know if you even hear spirits or you hear voices or whatever you want to call it, telepathy. Like the dictionary will define it as telepathy. Our ancestors passed it down as spirituality. So that's what I call it, out of honor for our ancestors, because they're the ones that taught us everything we know. And it's even in the Constitution, honor your father and your mother or whatever. So like, basically why works very well. You know what I'm saying? But like, I wouldn't just stop at just why, because, you know, I would continue asking like the multiple statements that kind of matter. Why am I listening? You know, stuff like that. Like, you know, and if you're like consistently hearing voices and they just don't stop because they're being stupid or whatever and they're being fake, You know, there is a way to deal with it. Like I said, all you got to do is hold like any steady image. It doesn't matter what it is. Eventually, it's going to distract them to the point where anytime they try to focus on you, which is what it takes to really spiritually, like, kind of connect to somebody, you know. But I noticed though that word works very, you know, almost everybody uses why because it says I, like eyeball. So it like also kind of gives you it like eyeball, which is EYE, sounds like I. The letter I, which means like a person, that person there, I, or I am, you know what I mean? You kind of almost want to ask like you're them. Because a lot of people go you know, you're supposed to say I. And that's why a lot of people say why, because why also is important. Like, why are they even thinking about you? You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I would furthermore, like, ask a couple multiple one-syllable words. I would avoid saying we, because apparently we means yes in French or Creole or something like that. And they'll try to pretend to know Creole all of a sudden. So I'll leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? I'll let you come up with your own, like, conclusions. Like, because I've been saying, like, good for, like, you know, I've been hearing voices. I'm not going to lie. I've been hearing it for, like, damn near 7 years straight, like, all day, all night. So, like, that's the reason why I try to explain, like, as best as I can to defend against that. Is because it's, like, really unfair to anybody. You know, especially a group of people that never really bother. You know, other people, we're too busy here working and, like, trying to do, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have freedom of speech. I have the freedom to look. You know what I'm saying? I have freedom of speech to express myself. People do have the freedom to look, but I have also the freedom to express myself with my words. You know what I'm saying? And I also have, you know, the right to be as I am. Like, as long as I'm not, like, physically trying to push you around or like touch you and hurt you, you know, I just don't see any legitimate reason to kind of behave a certain way, you know what I'm saying? And like, that's a very long time, you know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I really say it adamantly as I do, is because no one ever like really came to me and was like, hey, did you know that spirituality is real? Did you know that like telepathy is real? Did you know that the most important part of our existence is real? Did you know that you could find the truth of other people before you even hang out with them? To know if they have your best interest at heart? Like, are they like good people for you or not? Like, you could find stuff like this out through spirituality. You know what I'm saying? And also, if I noticed that if you're not seeing really any images show up, because really what you should be looking for is images. Sometimes the images are not accurate. That's why you kind of got to be persistent a little bit. Like, let's say, for example, spiritually, someone says, you know, they're going to, you know, hurt you or whatever. It doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to, you know what I mean? Because the truth never changes. Like, if you even keep checking, you'll know that they're really not. Like, you could have just caught them in a frustrated state. Like, but the images of what they're doing never change. That's the most important part of it. That's why a lot of people call it imagery. That's why a lot of people call it, that's basically what, they also call it whispering. These are all other code names for it. Like, people like say it without saying it, like whispering, because only you can hear it. So that's why they call it whispering. Like, because you'll hear it, and no one else around will hear what you're hearing in your head, basically telepathically. So like, it is important. Like, the one syllable words is like the best way, because they're most certainly going to hear. I think like he works good. Like, for example, like you'll find out like, or mad or something like that. That works very good as well. Like, what are they mad about? Mad. You know what I mean? Like he, like when they're talking to you, like he or she would work good. I don't know if she is a good one. I would just use he even if I was a female, because like you'll probably find out the truth as well. These are just things that I've noticed that have worked very well. You know what I'm saying? I do know the steady images work very well to stop them from bothering you. It might take a while because they usually put a bunch of people to be on your mind at the same time, because that's the best way of finding the truth. But I know personally, because they even tell me that it's like hard for them to concentrate on me now. So like I know it's working, and that's why I try to tell other people, you know what I'm saying, that there is a way to defend against the spiritual side of things, and no one ever explained to me that. No one, like, there was no YouTube video that was like, oh, this is all you got to do to stop that. You know, because I was even looking for that. I was like, damn, there has to be one person. Like, YouTube has everything. You know what I mean? YouTube has everything, and they didn't have one video that was like, oh, how to stop whispering. All they ever did tell me was like, oh, just live the best life you can, and you know, take it as a blessing or whatever, that they're just making you stronger, which they are. And that's exactly the way you should look at it. Never let it frustrate you or get you upset or mad, because if you do, if you allow it to affect you spiritually negatively, it'll affect you physically, and you never want that to happen. You know what I'm saying? So just take it as a blessing. Like, even though, never look at it as it's bothering you. Always look at it as they're making you stronger, because that's basically what they're doing. Your brain is interpreting way more information at one time. So like, let's say you're watching TV and you're still hearing voices in the back of your head or whatever. You're interpreting way more information now. So they're just making you stronger and better. That's the way you should look at it. Never look at it as it's a bother. Oh my God, they don't stop. They're just making you better and better. Always look at it like that, because if you look at it wrongfully, it's going to affect you wrongfully. It's going to even affect your physical health, which is very bad. And that's exactly what they want. They want it to tire you. They want it to put you to sleep, and they want it to bother you. So never allow that to be the reality. They're only making you stronger. But that's my word of advice. You know what I'm saying? I know this is kind of bizarre for a Street Fighter channel, but no, this is the only way I could really express myself and put the message out there. I hope everyone else, like, you know, people that do know about it, I hope they're more open about it and telling other people about it. You know what I mean? I know there's other cultures like Hindu that are very blatant about it. If you notice, the Hindus, they wear that red dot on their head. That's what they're referring to. A lot of people call it the third eye as well, because you can see with your mind, basically, is what they're saying. They call it the third eye, but what they're really saying is representing that third eye with the red dot on their forehead, which, if you notice, is the front of the brain area, the skull area, and that's what the Hindus are representing with the third eye. You know, if you notice, they basically believe the same thing that all the other cultures believe, as well as the Buddhists, same thing. You know, if you go to any Buddhists, I guarantee you they're going to tell you the same. They all know about it. They all teach each other. They teach their little kids that. The Hindus teach their little kids that. It's normal. You know, unfortunately, here in the United States, they didn't. It's believe it or not, it's in the United States Constitution, but it's very vague. I mean, there's certain statements that make you go, oh, that's what they're talking about. Like, it'll say in the Bible. A lot of people, when they go, oh, the Constitution, I know the Constitution. Yeah, you say you know the Constitution, but do you know the entire Constitution? Like, because the Bible is like the biggest part of of knowing the Constitution. You know what I'm saying? So, like, basically, like, it'll say statements like the Lord is all-knowing. The Lord is all-knowing, or like Christianity means oneness, or it'll say like vague statements like that. It'll never be like, oh, all you have to do is close your eyes, and like, that's the real statement you want, is for the Constitution to go, oh, close your eyes and, you know, think of any other person that you've met before, and you like, oh, you know, and just start like, you know, you always want to. It also helps if you use their mind like you're them. Like, I'm a good person, except, you know, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, you want to leave a statement where they're like, I'm a good person, except I robbed the bank. You know what I mean? Like, because that kind of shit is gonna come out. You know what I mean? Like, they're gonna be like, I robbed. You know what I mean? I'm a good person except for when I robbed. Leave me alone already. You know what I mean? So I'll leave it at that. This is probably gonna be my last time playing. I am gonna sell my PlayStation. The only way I'm coming back to YouTube and streaming this game or any other fighting games is if I see if my channel does like start doing good. I see like there's a lot of people really like capitalizing on this, like YouTube is giving them money and all these TikTok and Twitch is giving them money for doing it. That was the main reason I wanted to do it. But I feel like a lot of communities are just subscribing to people of interest. Like so that they can just get money coming in, revenue coming in, even though it's really just a popularity contest. You know what I'm saying? And since like I'm not the most popular guy, like this is not, you know what I'm saying? Even though I should be, you know what I'm saying? Any day of the week I could be, like I'm just that good at it. But you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like I am, you know what I mean? Believe me, it sounds weird, but like that's the way you're supposed to like kind of check, because the person is going, you know what I mean? And like some people just might be frustrated by other idiots when you're checking. So like, you get what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that they're bad. You just might have caught them at a bad time. That's why I say never allow yourself to get frustrated, because people are starting like, oh, he's hiding something, or he's a bad person or something like that. And that's probably what like the main reason, you know, they want to piss people off and stuff like that. I get it, you know what I mean? But yeah, that is real. Like no, like that it's in the Constitution. So like I don't care if people are like, oh, he's crazy. You know what I'm saying? They'll be like, oh, he's a schizophrenic, and they'll always try to make you seem like you're a bad person for this kind of stuff, like. Oh, he's a schizophrenic. You know, like they're always trying to make you look bad for being real. So, that's what I noticed. Like that's the best way. I feel like I've already expressed myself pretty well. Like they should know that I'm a good guy, and I do believe in self-defense. And that's about it. You know what I'm saying? I think by now, like several years later, it does not take too long to find the truth, believe me. Like if they're a serial killer, you'll know right away. You'll know right away, believe me. I'm gonna end this video and then I'm gonna start a new one, but this is probably gonna be my last one for sure. I'm gonna sell it today, so wish me luck, guys. You know what I'm saying? I really need the money more than anything else. Once I get my job back and you know, because I basically had my career set and they cheated me out of my job. In fact, my job owes me like well over, it's been like 6 years ago, and I was making like about 30,000, 30-something thousand, I think, per year, which it doesn't really sound like a lot, but like for a guy who, even though I'm not an idiot, I never really took school serious. So like for me, you know, I really earned my spot. I was working in the freezing cold, like literally, like the job that I was at, like literally had no walls in the wintertime or anything. Like where the trucks park in, you know, it was always open. So like if it was 0 degrees outside, guess what? It was 0 degrees inside where I was working. You know what I'm saying? So like I went through a lot of suffering, like trying to earn my position there. To get cheated the way I did, to get treated the way I did by managers that really did nothing. You know, they typed on a keyboard. They really were singling me out outside of everyone else, treating me poorly, sending me text messages saying, you don't know how bad it's going to get for you here. You know, talking about like things that had nothing to do with my job. You know what I'm saying? So like once I start working there again, like I stopped working when I was already making $17 an hour. This was 6 years ago. The new minimum wage is $15 an hour now. 6 years ago, it was like 8 or 9. I started at 12. I started at 12. I'm sorry about that. You guys know I have an Apple. Oh my God, the secret's out, everybody. I'm on Apple. I'm also on Android as well. I like both. What was I gonna say? What I don't like about this fucking Samsung though is like when my alarm goes off, I'll like press the power button or the volume button, and like I'm like, okay, I turned my alarm off, and then like 3 minutes later, it does it again, and I'm like in a game, and I'm like, you son of a fucking bitch! I just fucking turned your shit off. Like you literally have to swipe up the fucking thing. There's like a little bouncing ball while the alarm is going off, and you have to swipe it up for it to fucking finally turn off. Okay, so, what was I gonna say? Damn, I forgot what the fuck I was talking about. Oh yeah, my job. Yeah. So, like, basically, like, I was there for, like, I was working at, like, a temp agency for, like, 2 years at the same place that I was working when I finally got hired. I worked for 2 more over there. So, basically, I was there for, like, 4 years. And they love me, like, I'm saying this sarcastically, they love me so much that a week before Thanksgiving, they fired me. Like, literally a week before Thanksgiving. And they even offered me $10,000 to leave the job, which I regret at the time not taking. Because what they should have said is, damn, this guy doesn't want to take $10,000 cash right now. Because he loves his job so much. That's what they should have told themselves. That should have been the ultimate test. They should have been like, if he takes the $10,000, don't give him shit and fire that fucking piece of shit. But if he says no to the $10,000, you keep him because he's the best fucking worker we have here. And that's exactly what the fuck they should have done. You know what I'm saying? Had I known that they were going to find a way to fucking dog me and take my job away anyway, of course I would have taken the $10,000. Of course I would have fucking taken it. You know how much fun I would have had at a fucking at a club with $10,000? You know what I'm saying? Are you fucking kidding me right now? I probably would have went to like the strip club the same night with $10,000 and spent like at least $1,000. I would have at least spent $1,000. So yeah, like I said, by law, since they wrongfully removed me, they have to give me my job back. They have to give me the money I would have earned from the moment I left there, which was 6 years ago, which is why they owe me like about 100. I don't know what's 6 times 3. 6 times 30, basically. I think that's 25. That's like, I don't even know. This is how you know I didn't take school seriously like that. I was never really good at math. I believe it's like 200 or like 160. I forget what it was. I was making 33, 6, 9, 12, 15, 180. That took me a while. I was actually counting with my fingers, by the way, guys. Sorry about that. It didn't show up on stream, but I was actually counting with my fingers. I started with the thumb, and I worked my way over to my other thumb because it was six numbers I had to count. Oh, man. You remember that joke where people said, your mom's so dumb that she can't count to 20 without taking off her shoes and shit? Okay, okay, so I'm going to start streaming right now. But we'll see, man. Yeah, like by law, I really, you know, my favorite place, you know, that was like, I wouldn't say it was my favorite job. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't my favorite job. It was a very disgustingly dirty job. But it's all I knew, and I worked very hard to like achieve my status there. So they didn't know how much of a heartbreak that was for me, you know what I mean? They didn't know how heartbreaking that was for me to finally be kicked out of there, like after how hard I worked to stay there. You know what I'm saying? I worked in the freezing cold there. You know, when the company finally moved to another location, a better location, a bigger location, a cleaner location, it felt like there was finally walls and shit. Like they had walls for the first time. Like they finally had walls and shit. I was like, oh my god, this is fucking awesome. They have walls now. Like most people go to their job and they go inside and they're like, oh wow, summertime AC, wintertime heat, and they're good. Like they're like, I never feel uncomfortable here. I literally walked into a fucking ice box. It was literally working inside of a freezer. I literally was working while I was outside. And guess what? Those 53-foot trailers, when you go inside in the wintertime, guess what it feels like? It feels even colder than outside. And guess what it feels like in the summertime? It feels like you're walking into a fucking oven. And this is the appreciation they gave me. Guys that really do nothing. I'm gonna keep it real. Guys that really don't appreciate the workers, don't really do nothing but like type on a keyboard into a fucking computer, maybe read some orders and then tell you kind of what to do with it, or give you the order after they print it out. Here you go, this is what you gotta do. Okay, bye. Now I'm gonna go watch my sports betting or whatever on my TV. You know what I'm saying? So like they that they don't know how heartbreaking that was for me, man. Like for me that was my career. That like even though like a lot of people say it's just a job, for me that I was treating that more like a career. I was like, I'm keeping this job until I retire at 65, and then after that I'm chilling at the beach every day. You know what I'm saying? Like that was basically my goal. I was gonna be like, yo, once I retire, I'm fucking done. I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. I'm gonna start a new stream. It's just gonna be games. So like, but we'll see what happens, man.